And just beyond that, just like the past couple weeks, because last week I didn't do anything, but a week ago we had something where I was talking about the homeless situation and then building a new shelter. And I went over every newscast they talked about the new shelter, along with somebody else speaking of the new shelter. But now we have issues with shelters in certain areas, and this is something that needs to be seen and talked about, because like I said before, you put a shelter in a place to try to house the homeless is not going to fix the issue. They need to be rehabilitated before they get into housing, okay, before they get into apartments and all that stuff, because they are used to the streets. And like I said, tons of them are drug addicted, and there's no shelters for them, or no rehab places for them anymore. And so what's going on is these people are like grown children, because the drugs have took away the ability to know what's right and wrong, which means they're acceptable. They're acceptable to all kinds of things, even demons. Okay, and a lot of them are demon possessed, if you ask me. More than trying to accept a righteous life or a life of just good things. They choose to be homeless and cause chaos in people's life that don't deserve it and hasn't done anything to them. It needs to be a separation of the citizens and the homeless. It's sad to say, but it needs to be. If you're going to put a shelter down, it has to be a place where the people that are homeless are not, affecting the citizens of the city and destroying their properties and so forth. So we're going to go over this news broadcast that just happened this past week and talk about it. So what we got here is this news broadcast. It happens in North Portland, not downtown Portland, not in the Pearl District. But the new shelter they just built in the Pearl District is talked about in this video. Now, the problem here is this neighborhood is fed up with whatever they built just recently to house the homeless. And this is the stuff they're talking about that happened that is so bad that people want to move out and things. So let's just get into it.
In this part of Portland, a neighborhood on the defense.
It's been absolutely miserable living here.
In January, the city directed the Salvation Army to reopen the Moore Street shelter off North Killingsworth Street, adding 100 beds towards Mayor Keith Wilson's goal of opening 1,500 by December 1st.
Once the shelter opened, everything completely changed.
Carrie Henderson lives across the street from the shelter entrance.
We've seen a significant increase in loitering, people sleeping on the sidewalk, drug usage. I've never seen open drug usage in the 13 years that I've lived in this house.
1 block away.
So before I even get to what they're about to say there, that's the biggest issue right there, is open drug usage. And they don't even care about children or anything. I've seen children be affected by this stuff, and yet cops just drive by, no one cares. And it's just like, what's the point of having law enforcement or any kind of these facilities if the children aren't safe first? There used to be an old saying, women and children first, because they were the most weak and vulnerable ones in the society that needed to be protected at all costs, so they can keep the generations of the culture alive. But now it's to the point where everyone that's an adult is selfish, whether it be male or female, and the children population is diminishing, not just because of crazy chaos that happens amongst people when it comes to kidnappings and all that stuff, all the other SAAs and all the crap that happens, okay? Not just that, but thing with the whole birth issue, they're not having enough babies, and the ones that are getting born, some of them are being aborted. This is not a good thing. We are losing our culture because of people not paying attention to what society needs. And so if you're going to make something like this happen, this open drug use thing, once again, that brings me back to they need their own place separate from citizens of the city. That way, children don't get affected by their problems and be another statistic in their homeless insanity.
Way.
Oh, I feel helpless.
On Shilpa Street, just before 11 Sunday night, Portland police responded to reports of someone smashing 4 car windows. Security video shows the suspect damaging one of the cars. The next day, the windows were covered in plastic.
And then my other neighbor woke up to a brick on his windshield where it had been thrown.
Oh, it's horrifying. It's horrifying. I'm not surprised that that's happened.
Portland police arrested a 47-year-old woman for smashing at least one of the car windows. The mayor's office tells us she broke the windows after choosing to leave the Moore Street shelter, and that this is not the first time she's been arrested for similar crimes.
So before we even get to the mayor thing, I mean, I know you can see it, you can read it, whatever, but the whole thing is that's a sad age. Like I said, they revert to children because of drug use, has tore their brain apart, and they don't have the ability to understand what's right and wrong. So for a 47-year-old woman to bash in something with a brick just because you're mad you got kicked out of a shelter is childish. It's beyond childish. It's just disrespectful. You have no morals. You have no sense of what's right. You just don't give a damn, and you think someone owes you something. But that's the whole point of what I'm saying. If we're gonna do this thing, you separate them from. I know it sounds crazy, but you separate them from society's citizens, so the citizens can live their normal life. The citizens shouldn't have to pay for the fact that you chose to be homeless and on drugs. And then for those who are not on drugs and that are homeless, once again, if you act childish like this and throw rocks and all that crap, bricks and things, then you need to reassess why you're homeless. Because it's not just the fact that you lost out financially, it's the fact that you haven't grown maturity to levels to where you can understand how to take care of yourself. And that's the truth.
Mayor Wilson's office tells us after 9 months of successful operations, this vandalism is by far the worst event connected to the shelter. Moore Street Shelter has provided over 23,500 nights of safe, dignified sleep to our city's most vulnerable, contributing to a decrease in crime in the area compared to the 6 months prior to opening. Neighbors see it differently.
So, there's no way there's a decrease in crime when you got a security footage of a guy breaking in the back of someone's van, and you have a woman that threw a brick through a windshield. Come on now. Let's just be real about it. There's a thing when it's called helping the homeless, and there's a thing where it's called enabling them. And that's all these states do now, is they enable the negative behavior. And they let it go, and they let it pass, and they let people get back out. Like they were saying, this woman's been arrested before, you let her right back on the street. We had a guy who just, everyone knows about it because it's been all over the news. The guy that killed the Ukrainian girl on the transit center or bus or whatever this thing was. And he's been locked up for how many times? 30-something times. And you knew he was violent and he had a killing spree. And yet you let him out. So where is justice? This goes back to where I'm saying justice is flawed. And there is no true justice in America. It's all about the almighty dollar. That's who they're praying to. That's what's going down. If they're not part of these cults and stuff, that's what's happening. People want to say Illuminati. It's not Illuminati. There's a demon that is being worshipped. And, I've recently discovered finally the enemy of God that is affecting all of us, which I'm going to talk about. And soon, not now, but in another video. But the thing about it is, this is chaos at its best. And like I said, if you're not helping, you're enabling, and that's what Portland is doing real well. As even with the whole thing with the protest situation, you're protesting for what? It'd be different if you were protesting and you actually gave a damn about these things, these causes, these countries that you're protesting about. Especially if you're protesting about a country and you care about their cause, then you need to go over there and fight with them. Join up and say, hey, I'm here to fight good fight with y'all. But they don't never do that. They think being in their own hometown or somebody's city and protesting is fun. Because they really don't give a damn about what they're protesting about. And that's been proven with this ICE thing and the people that's protesting against ICE here in Portland. They kept all the neighbors up against the citizens up, just like the homeless people do. Most of them are homeless people, acting like they're part of this cause so they have people to be around and they have things, whatever, you know. And some of them are just people who just like to cause chaos. But these people were sitting there attacking these neighbors, and then they started assaulting the black woman, they assaulted a white man, a white woman, and then eventually assaulted a Mexican dude. Well, if you're fighting against ICE, aren't you supposed to be protecting Mexicans? Why did you just beat up a Mexican? I mean, the guy looked bloody as hell on the camera footage. And so it's like, it doesn't matter. If you're going to fight something, do it right. And so even when I'm saying this goes to what I'm talking about with the city. If you're going to do something, do it right when it comes to the homeless people. Don't say there's no crime when we've got footage of them breaking car windows and stuff. Don't say you're doing a good job by housing them and you're holding back $724 million of the money that was meant to give to you to help the homeless. Don't say there's 500 agencies around the city to help the homeless situation when there's not. Okay? This is something critical, something I feel needs to be addressed, because there's people out here. Yes, there's homeless people on drugs. Yes, there's homeless people that's running around and they're causing chaos. Yes, there's homeless people that are just trying to survive but they don't know their way out. And here's the thing. It can easily be solved. Easily. They're not looking at the right solutions. They're trying to find ways to do it in a way that can protect their ass. At the same time, make it look like, hey, we're helping you guys. We're helping the city. But you're not. You're destroying the city and you're taking resources from people's pockets and claiming to do something in good cause sense. Okay? Saying this is good intentions to help these homeless people. But from what I've known my whole life, and most of y'all probably have that has good sense, the road to hell is paved with good intentions.
It's really reduced our livability, the safety of the neighborhood.
And we've had homeless people throw bags of feces at our homes. This is not normal. People should not be living like this.
In a state.
Listen to what she just said. They're throwing feces. That's some monkey mentality, gorilla type shit. You shit in your hand and throw it at somebody. Okay, like I said, drugs don't eat at these people's brains so much, they forgot how to be human. Now, how can you house somebody that does that? Literally, that's even worse than, that's mental illness at its best. You know what I'm saying? Usually people with mental illnesses, they eat the crap. That's even worse. But the thing about it is, for them to throw shit in people's houses that ain't did nothing to you for no reason, just to do it, no one should pay the price for your ignorance and your lack of trying to handle your business. Your lack of trying to motivate yourself to do what's right to stay housed.
A spokesperson for the Salvation Army says safety in the neighborhood is a primary concern. We do not condone violence or disruptive behavior in any way in the neighborhoods surrounding our facility.
I stopped leaving the house because I know the moment I do, I'm going to see something.
Even people like Patrick.
So before they get to this guy, he's actually a homeless person. Now, he's not the guy they need to interview, but what this woman just said, she's afraid to leave the house because the moment she does, something's going to happen. The bad thing about that is you should not feel like a prisoner in your own home because a homeless shelter opened up around it. That's crazy. So because you're trying to help these people, the regular citizens have to feel prisoners. They have to feel like they're unsafe. They have to find a way to guard their possessions, to guard their livelihood. It's wrong. And this is why, I said it. You can go back through my freaking playlist on this channel and you'll realize what I'm talking about when I said I have 2 episodes I made. One where I was talking about the Homestead Act. And in the Homestead Act I was talking about how you can buy land, and I said it more than once, multiple times, how much land you can buy. Yes, Eastern Oregon has available land, but Portland itself has over 200 ghost towns, more than any state in the whole United States of America. Like I said, you can change those around, or you can buy more land, and it's not hard. If they have $724 million, you can restore these things. You can also create a whole new town. Now you have 16,000 homeless people. What are you doing? This is the small town. This is beyond the town. This is like a little tiny city. these people could be housed. Get out their own way, and they can live the way they want without having to harass citizens that are trying to survive in this jacked up economy.
Rick,
I feel like they're doing a great job.
who stays at the shelter,
Just for the past couple days.
recognizes its impact on the neighborhood.
Sure, yeah, definitely. I've seen broken windows. I've seen everything. You can ask me anything. I've seen it.
Around this shelter?
Yeah, any shelter, yeah.
In part,
So look, this is why he shouldn't have been interviewed, because honestly, he just said he's only been there for a couple of days. It could be 3 days at the most. Okay, yeah, he's seen glass and stuff. Yeah, it's doing whatever to the neighborhood. But let's talk about the real thing. Who's been in that shelter the longest? Who hasn't been housed? And why are they still there? If this place is supposed to help them, and if these housing places work through these shelters to get these people housed, how come they're not doing it? Okay, that's the main issue. That's the biggest problem. I don't understand, why would you even try to interview a person who's fairly new to it? And it looks like he's just became homeless. He might have been a guy who, once again, like I said, because housing costs are so high, lost his place, needs to be in a shelter, needs to get reestablished. He might have lost his girlfriend and she kicked him out. Whatever the scenario is, he's there, but he doesn't look unstable like the ones we see on a daily, regular basis. Okay? Let God have mercy upon his soul, because at least he's trying, as where other ones aren't.
why many neighborhoods across the city are skeptical of the mayor's shelter first model when it comes to addressing homelessness.
Oh, awful. Just awful. You want to open them? Open them where there are absolutely no homes. Don't open them in a residential area. And our property taxes keep going up.
See, listen to this. She's pretty much saying what I'm trying to say and making it sound even better. I mean, shoot, that's the truth. If you live in a neighborhood where there's property damage and all this stuff, your housing costs and stuff is going to go up. Your property taxes are going to go up. Okay? Or whatever. Your cost of living is going to go up, because it costs money to fix things. So they take it out of your taxes in any kind of way. Okay? It's not a good thing. It just makes you're like, whoa, why am I standing here? Why am I putting up with this? You don't need to waste money on things that doesn't make sense. And the thing about Americans, a lot of us do. Okay? Not me. I try to budget my money so much. I'm so tight with money nowadays, it doesn't make any sense. But like women buying expensive bags that's $1,500 for what? Like, god dang, all you need is a bag to walk around and hold your stuff in. Who cares about you? You already look cute. What the hell's the problem with you? Dudes trying to look like something they're not, and so you gotta buy these things, and you can't even afford a car. What kind of shit is that? You know what I'm saying? You have to be practical. You have to be practical. Yeah, there's some reality to it. But if you're putting people in a place where they're causing property damage, they're bringing the neighborhood down. Actually, the housing, it brings it down. It brings it down to where, let's say you wanted to sell a house and your house was worth $200 something. Let's just say $250,000, and you wanted to sell it because the neighborhood is trash now, because there's all this crap. This stuff will start to go down. People will be like, whoa, wait a minute, what is this? They don't want to buy from that person. So this is the problem. And so, either way, man, it's not good, But she hit this straight on the head. Like I just said before I even got to this part, they had to be separated from the citizens. They have to have a small town built. With the money they have, this is some serious stuff I'm about to say. With the money they have, that they said they've been using to make 500 facilities, okay, they can build, this is crazy, at least 300 different cities or small towns for these people. And not just build the towns and stuff, but be able to fill them with everything. Medical, jobs, housing, freaking, I'm for reals, mental health treatments, okay? Be able to fill them with rehab centers, all kinds of things, clothing stores, everything they need to get them back to normal. But no, you rather torture people and say, hey, look, this is what we're doing. We're helping them. You can see it. See what we're doing with your money. When really, you're not doing that with their money. You're just making it look like you're doing something when you really ain't. Kind of like a girlfriend you're dating, and then she, you do everything for her, give her everything, treat her like a queen, and then one day she finally does something, and you're supposed to be like, oh my God, you're so impressed because she helped you do this one thing, but she ain't gonna do it again. You know what I'm saying? Like, look at me, I did this, I love you, I care for you too. Does she really? No. See what I'm saying? Unless you can give her some good ding-a-ling and make sure you feed her a meal afterwards, then she starts liking you more because, hey, girls can dig a guy that can cook and lay it down. You dig? It has nothing to do with anything, and I don't even know why I said that, but I'm trying to make a scenario close to it, but it's the truth. In a way that doesn't make any sense because I'm talking money. Oh, who cares what I'm talking about?
So, property taxes, city taxes, state taxes, the amount of money we're shelling out to fix this problem that they're not fixing is unacceptable.
Shilpa and others
Oh, hell yeah.
now planning to leave the city.
I will lose money on this house and I will live with it because this is not, for my mental health, this is not okay.
Realistically, I've been looking at houses outside of Multnomah County, outside of Portland, and it kills me because this is my house, my home, and I feel like I'm being forced from it.
I feel like the city cares more about these people who do drugs, who abuse themselves, who don't care about themselves or their society, and they don't care for tax-paying citizens. At what point do we go, no, this is not okay?
And this is 100% right as everything she's saying because it's enabling them. They care, of course they care more about them. Why? Because they're getting all this government money that Portland man had never had before until the homeless crisis came. And so then it's like, okay, wow, these people are giving us money by being homeless and junkies. We might as well keep them around and find up other causes to try to help them so we can get more money. That's what's going down. And then, yes, they don't care about the citizens. You see that daily. Yo, you can call the cops about something and they will never come anymore. They won't come no more. They will not show up unless there's bloodshed. Which means now their jobs make no sense because, hey, you rather bloodshed happen, violence, someone literally die before you do your job. Does that sound right to you? Does that sound morally right to you? Their job is to serve and protect. Well, I thought protecting someone means you protect them before death or before the violence happens. You see what I'm saying? It doesn't make any sense. And yes, these people are losing way too much of their life. Why other people already threw it away? So because they threw it away and gave up and just gave in to sin so easily, the other people were supposed to say, oh, I might as well just lose my stuff and just say the hell with it too. No. No one's supposed to give up the good fight. No one's supposed to surrender and bow down just because somebody else decides that they don't give a damn about their life, that they decide they want to live their life a certain way. Just because you choose to be something doesn't mean I choose to accept it. Okay, and that's the problem with the Democratic Party, and this is why they're having such a big time right now with all the crap they're going on about. I heard so much stuff about Charlie Kirk or whatever his name is, and it doesn't make any sense. The guy, I mean, I'm not really into politics, and I'm not really into what he was talking about, because I only seen like a couple of his shows, so I don't really know anything about the guy. But I can tell you this much. The Democratic Party has been doing stuff way before Trump got in the office again, and all it is, oh, accept this, accept that, don't say this, but say this now. You know, what is this shit? Let's worry about the issues at hand. Stuff like this. Let's get it fixed. Let's fix medical to where no one has to lose money and family members don't have to die. Let's find a way to financially make it to where people can afford houses naturally. Like going and say, hey, I bought this. Like, I mean, stuff doesn't make sense to how big the economy is and how freaking small our pockets is. You know, I'm just saying, like, it's just, I don't know. If I'm sounding crazy, let me know. If not, tell me what you're thinking. Okay? Leave a comment, drop it. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? Just your opinion matters to me. And just like, honestly, it's just something that rattles in my brain all the time. Why is it the way it is? It's the way it is because of greed. Number one thing. The other problem is that people stop caring about other people. They pretend to care, but all they care about is themselves. And the ultimate thing is people forgot where it came from. They forgot they came from a wholesome thing at one point. That they had a little happiness in their life. They forgot about their kid that had joy. They just sat there and forgot who they were. When I say the kid had joy, I mean the kid inside themselves that was happy at one point with a simpler life. You know, before grown-uphood came and turned them into assholes. Okay? They forgot these things. And then those who do remember the childhood remember it too much because they revert back into it. There's no win-win. The only thing that can win you in this battle is believing in God. I'm telling you. God Almighty. Jesus. God. Moses. I don't care. Okay? But you better figure out how to believe in something that can set your life on the right path. Then we're putting your faith in man. Some of y'all say you believe in God, but you care about everything mankind does. And all mankind does is destroy. They destroy and follow the wrong things of wickedness, and then expect you to think it's okay. Oh, it's okay, it's alright. And then they'll say they believe in God, yet they're quick to do something evil that God wouldn't accept. So it's just something where you have to sit back and actually analyze humanity and yourself and where you stand and where you fall. And if you can pick yourself up again to fight that good fight and never waver on what you believe in. And that's all I'm going to say. I'll let her finish up a little thing.
Okay, it's also worth noting the Moore Street shelter is right across the street from a daycare and a few blocks from a high school. I asked the Salvation Army if there were talks of adding security to patrol the building, and they said not at this time. Neighbors tell me they are now banding together with other neighborhoods like the Pearl District to try and hold the city accountable, they say, for what happens as a result of these types of shelters. About 2 weeks ago, the city opened this 200-bed overnight shelter in the Pearl on Northwest Northrop Street. It was the 5th city shelter to open this year, despite major pushback from neighbors there, concerned the shelter would negatively impact the surrounding area, like what's happening in North Portland.
So to pause it there, this is the stuff I was talking about, I talked about last week or so, where I was talking about this shelter opening. And now there's problems whether you know it or not. But, and the same problems too, that happens in the North neighborhood. At the same time, when she says that place that's already being destroyed is by a daycare and a high school, once again, children's safety is at risk. This is something that's very important, you know. Being a kid is so confusing. And a teenager is even worse because you think you know everything just because you finally became big enough to stand up to whoever. You know what I mean? But still, you're just that kid that's naive and don't know the world. But the world is cruel. And if you have to learn the hard way, you got to wake up. Because things get even more difficult if you don't understand. You know? So it's just being in a situation where there's stuff around you all day long that you don't understand is a bad combination. So that's what I gotta say about that. But this shelter here that she's talking about now, talking about how they want to hold the city accountable, this is good. They hold the city accountable. But don't just hold the city accountable. Hold the freaking whole state accountable. Because it goes to the governor who could step in and intervene in this stuff at any time. And say, oh, we don't like how Portland's going. I'm going to step in and change. She tried it once when she first got in office. But she hasn't since. It's like she just weaseled out, like, you know, oh, you know, you guys are getting how much money? Oh, okay, that's probably what happened. They paid her off. But originally, when this Kotek girl became governor of Portland, or Oregon, I should say, because governors of Oregon, you know, states, whatever. When she became governor, she originally tried to fix the homeless situation in Portland. Then after a while, it just faded out. Didn't even talk about her trying to do it anymore. So what happened to her? And I'm telling you, she got paid off. It doesn't make no sense how someone came in so strong, ready to fight, and said, oh, okay, yeah, you guys handle the Portland homeless situation and nothing's being done. Now we're 3 mayors down and you still haven't fixed it. New mayor, the mayor don't know what the hell's going on. It's crazy.
Now, the head of the Pearl District Shelter Oversight Leadership Committee sent me the following statement, saying of that Northrop shelter, in part, in the 16 days since the shelter opened, I've received 206 email reports and exchanges regarding new campsites, piles of needles in the parks, nudity in the parks, people passed out in the streetcar stops, people passed out on the benches around Safeway, fecal matter in the tree wells. All of this is occurring within a few blocks of the shelter in the heart of the Pearl. The city overpromised on their ability to mitigate the effects of the shelter, and we continue to lobby for more effective strategies to truly help the homeless.
So, you see, within just 2 weeks, you have naked people, needles in the park, feces in tree wells, which is the thing, they make this thing for the trees, to hold the trees up. All so wrong. Just enable them, get your money. That's what it's about.
With their mental illness and drug addiction issues.
So let's reflect a bit. All these shelters do is make it so the city looks like they're helping people. All you gotta do is clearly walk by one of them and you'll see that they done destroyed the whole neighborhood. They done took all kinds of stuff, just like laid it out there. Drugs, clothes, bike parts. You gotta walk around all this chaos. Nothing seems right and no one's stepping in and intervening. So it just proves that we're in a battle against the city itself. If you are a citizen, that's who you're battling. On top of the fact that you're battling their little minions, which is the people who choose to do whatever the hell they feel like because they know there's no consequences. They know they're not going to get arrested for open drug use, which blows my mind. Especially in the 90s. I mean, I remember smoking a joint somewhere and someone flipped out and the cops were there, right? It was like, what in the hell is this crap now? Like, it just doesn't make any sense. We live in a godless society and in a society that is corrupted by the most heinous of acts and egregious of I mean, I can go on, yo, but you know where I'm going with this. Because this is moral high ground, I have to ask you, is this morally right or wrong? Should the city continue to keep making these shelters and not care about the citizens? Or should it help the citizens stabilize their neighborhood? More importantly, should they go and find a place where there's nothing, take some of that large sums of money, the $724 million, I can't forget this number because that's a crazy ass number of amount of money to have and not do nothing with it. If you're going to do something to help these people with it. Where's it going? I bet you all of them got some kind of Lambo. Okay. If not a Lambo, they got some kind of house somewhere. I mean, they were talking about a couple weeks ago, they were saying that they were going to go on a trip to Switzerland to learn how to fix the homeless situation. There's not a real homeless situation in Switzerland. Yo, they got underground facilities. I'm making a video. I'll put it out soon. You'll see it. It's going to be a clip, but or a little reel or whatever you call it on YouTube, shorts. But they got all this stuff. They have no need for homeless issues. So they went on a trip to Switzerland with the money and lied to everybody and said they're going to learn how to fix the homeless situation. How are you going to learn somewhere else where the heart of the homeless situation is in your hometown? Or the town you're supposed to be running? It's stupid. Anyway, this has been Moral High Ground. As usual, peace be with you. Blessings always. Go ahead and leave comments, like, subscribe, help me out, okay? I've been on YouTube forever, and I don't even know why people with the most ignorant stuff survive. But I just want these things to be heard. It's my main point. So this is the crisis that is endless. There's going to be more coming from me before the month ends. So peace be with you guys. Later.